Bueno, pues este es el primer episodio del segundo congreso
Inauguration of our second
sobre vida independiente
conference
que se celebra aquí en
on
Valencia,
independent
Federación.
living to be held
Ha
here
tardado
in
mucho
Valencia.
llegar el segundo,
The
porque
second conference
en
has
el
taken a
año
long time to
2003
come.
se
The first
celebró
one
el
was held
primero
in
en
2003
Tenerife.
in Tenerife.
No, yo parlé, pero así. No, pues el... Ahora mejor. Bueno. Pues decía que hemos
Well,
tardado 15
I was
años
saying that
en
it's
hacer
taken
el segundo
15 years
congreso,
to organize and to hold our second
dando
conference,
continuidad a aquel,
and
aunque
we're
haya
trying
mucha
to
distancia en el tiempo,
have a
en el que se
continuity, although a long
establecieron
time has gone
los
by.
primeros pasos del
And
movimiento
I'd
de
like to
vida
say that the
independiente,
first steps of our
y ahora, pues,
independent
después de
living
tanto
philosophy,
tiempo,
and then so
hay
after
que
such a
ver
long
qué hemos
time,
hecho bien, qué hemos hecho mal,
we're going to see
y
what we've
sobre
done
todo
well,
qué
what
podemos
we have
hacer de
not,
cara al
and what we
futuro.
need to do with regards to the
Me
future.
acompañan
And here,
por parte del Ayuntamiento de
from the
Valencia
Valencia Town
y de la
Hall
Generalitat
and
Valenciana,
from the
dos
Generalitat,
personas
we
que
have two people up
representan
here
instituciones
who
que
represent
han tenido mucho que ver en
institutions,
que
and
hoy
they have had a
podamos
great
estar
deal
aquí,
to do with the
porque
fact
desde el
that we are
primer
here
día
today,
creyeron
because
en este
from the very
proyecto,
beginning they have
lo
believed in this
apoyaron
project. They
a todos los
supported it
niveles,
at
incluido el
all levels,
económico,
even at the
y
economic
aquí
level,
estamos.
and here we are.
Tenemos urgencia porque
And
Consol
we
Castillo, que va a
have
hablar primero,
Consol.
es
Castillo
la
is going to be the first
concejala de Bienestar Social
speaker.
del
She
Ayuntamiento de
is
Valencia,
a
y
councilwoman
unos
from the
minutos
Valencia Town Hall
tiene en pleno.
from Social Services,
Por lo
and
tanto,
shortly
ella
she
nos
has
va
a
a dirigir
plenary
unas
meeting, so
palabras
she's going to
se ausentará porque
she
no
will
tiene más remedio.
say a few words, and then she will have to leave. So firstly, I'd like to give the floor to Consol,
Y la escuchemos
and we
atentamente.
shall listen to her alertly.
Bueno, buenos días.
Well, good morning to one and all, and I would like to apologize because I am going to have to leave and I will not be able to stay and to be here at this very interesting meeting. The first thing I'd like to say is to welcome you, first of all, because I know that some of you come from different places from Spain, and therefore it is important that we recognize the effort that you have made to travel all the way to Spain. Welcome, and I would like to congratulate you for the success that your meeting will hold in store. And I think that the city of Valencia and the Generalitat, you have a wonderful spokesperson who is Ismael. I would like to say that the first person who spoke about independent living was Ismael, and so he made me change my point of view concerning your grievances, the grievances for your rights. You certainly have your rights as people who want to live a full life and deciding at different moments, making the correct decisions, speaking about concepts that are revolutionary. They are revolutionary, coming from the mouths of people who, for many years now, had been considered from the other administrations as people who needed protection. And I think that what you need is not protection, but I think that you need to freely be able to exercise the rights to independence, determination of what you do, to leisure time, and to have a personal assistant who will give you independence and autonomy for what you need to do in your day-to-day living. And from the local administration, we do not have many competencies to make this easy, but we have a group such as yours. We realize that all doors need to be open. The doors to having a personal assistant, this recognition to the right of that possibility to be able to enjoy leisure time, sports, culture, mobility, in other words, a full life. And when I was speaking the first time with Ismael, and he spoke about the figure of a personal assistant, he was saying that people such as you, for example, who have a type of functional diversity, might be a wonderful economic thrust to drivers, and so there might be a physical limit with regards to mobility. However, you do have an intellect and intelligence which is certainly more than active. and more than strong. And so you are certainly people who can exercise an active professional life, and people who employ others, who will then be people who will be able to, shall we say, work in this, they would not have to work in submerged economy. They could be considered as people who have the rights as workers, and they could access Social Security, and there's a wide range of possibilities. And although now many people don't hear me, but, well, you know, talk to the administrations, be strict with us so that we will fulfill what we're supposed to do to facilitate lives for you. And I should like to say that I hope you have a very fruitful meeting, and welcome to this city, which I think is the first time which you are holding your conference here, and I hope you continue to come back, and you have a wonderful representative in Ismael. And I'd like to give the floor to Ismael. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Consol, for your words, and I think that we'll be able to let you leave and go to your plenary meeting. Thank you very much.
Kapka. Que sí. Yes.
Thank you very much.
No, te agradezco. Que gracias.
Am I supposed to?
Sí, yes. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Ahora, you speak now. Okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. So I'll be speaking English. And there is translation.
Sí.
Good morning, everybody.
Un segundo. Un momento.
Okay, sorry.
Kapka Panayotova, creo que lo he dicho bien.
Yeah.
Es la presidenta de ENIL, la Red Europea.
Independent living, the ENIL. She has worked very hard with this. She comes from Bulgaria, which is her country of origin. And she is the alma mater of all of the independent living movement. And at the moment, she is the president of ENIL, the European Network on Independent Living. And the Spanish movement is part of this. And so we will now give her the floor so that she will be able to tell us about ENIL, ENIL. Thank you. You have the floor.
Thank you very much, guys. I love to be in Valencia, by the way, because actually the formal way and the official, the operational start of ENIL, the European Network on Independent Living, took place in Valencia, by the way. Maybe like 10 years ago, even though ENIL is much older than that. But it was working on a very informal basis, on the basis of activism and commitment of really dedicated disabled people around Europe. ENIL stands, as it was already mentioned, for European Network on Independent Living. I think I have 10 minutes. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay. So I will try to keep the time. And it is a unique organization of European platform type, which consists of grassroots organizations. Unlike most of other European platforms, which put together national councils or nationally represented organizations. ENIL calls for everyone, individual or every organization on the ground, to get together, and it doesn't care whether the organization is large or small, whether it's an individual or a group of people, as long as they support, they promote, and they fight for independent living. And independent living, you know very well what it is. It's just our right to be free and our rights to be citizens as everybody else. This is all that independent living is about. So this is what ENIL is at its very start, 20 years ago, when a bunch of really dedicated, really smart, I would say brilliant people got together, and they decided to go for the Freedom Drive. Have you heard about Freedom Drive? Who has heard about the Freedom Drive? Yeah. Good, yeah. So it's known in Norway, because this is Eva from Norway who knows about Freedom Drive. Anybody else here? You were there. Come on. Okay. Who was there? Who was ever participated in the Freedom Drive? Yeah? Anybody else? No one here? You were there.
Yeah, Valencia.
You were in Valencia. You never come to. You never came to Freedom Drive. Oh gosh. Okay.
No.
So I would encourage you guys that you do whatever it takes to come next year in 2019 to participate in the Freedom Drive in Brussels. It's really an amazing kind of event. So it was the small group of people, but very enthusiastic, 20 years ago, who decided to start the European Network on Independent Living and start Freedom Drive, which was about promotion of human rights of disabled people right in front of the European politicians. And the point was that, yes, Europe is a sort of union of independent states, but still, if it is a union, there must be something which unites the countries. And this something should be apart from economy, which is obvious, an open market, which might be obvious too. But this other thing is human rights, human dignity, equality between people, and that kind of very important things. So if that's the case with the European Union, disabled people should be a part of it, and this bunch of very enthusiastic and brilliant founding fathers of ENIL, they got together and said, this is what we want to do. Make European institutions and everyone in Europe know that disabled people are equal citizens as everybody else. We know that, and we will fight for that. So that was how ENIL got started. Adolf Ratzka, you will have the real pleasure to meet and listen to. Is he coming? Yes. Maybe what? Okay. I hope he will come, because this is a remarkable person. He was among the founding fathers. I joined ENIL a little later. We have Nadia here with us, who also joined ENIL slightly later. Juan was there, and a bunch of very nice Spanish guys dedicated from Valencia, and not only. Hi, nice to meet you again. They joined. So now ENIL covers not only the countries from European Union, but the countries within the Council of Europe, which is a much wider area than the European Union. What we do, I'm not going to tell you guys what you can read and find on the website, but what is important and how we do it. What is important is that ENIL is the only European platform which really fights for the rights of disabled people to live independently and being included in the community, which is Article 19 of the Convention. ENIL is the only organization which actively works to monitor the activities, the policies, the funding, and everything related to policy making by the Commission in regard to disabled people and disability policies, and we write critical reports. So we are the, well, this won't be true because we are not the only organization running campaigns, but when it comes to human rights campaigns, I think we are the only organization running human rights campaigns for disabled people. So ENIL is quite a respected organization on European level. However, there are, of course, issues both within ENIL and within the movement. One of the issues, for example, but not the only one, was should we, as ENIL, join the European Disability Forum? That discussion went for years because one of the reasons to join EDF was because politicians want to have one subject to talk to. As they say, nothing about us without us. And then I usually ask the question, who is us? Is it me or you or anybody else? Who is us? And when they say us, they mean EDF. And is EDF representing all disabled people, not to mention the whole concept that disability doesn't make you a person. Disability is something that happens that you have to incorporate in your daily life, and you have to fight for accessible environment. But the disability doesn't make you a person. So this kind of conceptual issues still exist within the disabled community. Another issue which was and is to be discussed within the ENIL, how should relatives and family members relate to personal assistance? Should relatives be assistants to us or not? Should there be any strict rules about that or not? Because when they say we need to have our personal choices, that's true, okay. But is that a personal choice if you are made to hire your relative as an assistant? So there are plenty of issues within ENIL which we are not hiding in a way, and we are looking for more contribution from disabled people who are or see themselves as a part of ENIL. What else do we do? Yeah, so on this part we do a sort of webinars and all sorts of questionnaires sending around and encouraging people to give their opinion and help ENIL to build its policy strategies and all organizational documents. We are very eager about the institutionalization and the use of European funds which is one of the favorite subjects of Nadia Khaldat, and I guess that she will brief you on that in more details later. Yeah. So we are busy looking and checking on politicians what they do. And therefore, it's very important for us to have as many people from different European countries as possible. And that's the end of my story for the time being. I hope I will have the chance to continue chatting with you or being a part of discussions. But I will encourage everyone to look up on, to Google ENIL, to look up on our website and see, you know, all these formal stuff about ENIL and still consider joining the platform, because we need active and well-aware people of their disability rights, as well as I'm sure people need ENIL to have stronger voice on behalf of human rights and applied to us as disabled people. So I'll be around for the next 2 days, and I'll be happy to meet each and every one, give you a hug, because I love this place. Thank you very much.
Muchas gracias. Muchas gracias, Kapka, por tus palabras tan interesantes.
For your very kind words, and for participating in the opening ceremony. Helena Ferrando is the secretary from the autonomous community of Valencia, from the Councillor from Equality and Inclusive Policies from the Valencia Generalitat. She represents the Valencian Generalitat, the Valencian government, and before she speaks, I would like to reiterate how happy I am that I would like to thank the Generalitat and the Town Hall for supporting this conference, and ENIL. They have been a very important cornerstone here for us. And so thank you very much to Kapka as president of ENIL for the support, their very kind support, and we would like to say that we know that Ines Bulik has worked very hard, who is always in contact with us. And now Helena has the floor. Hello, Ismael and Kapka. Good morning to one and all. Thank you very much. Thank you. Good morning to all of you. Thank you for coming. And thank you to the organization for having organized this ceremony, because I think they're very important. I was speaking Valencian, but I was now I switched to Spanish, and I'm just thanking everyone for being here. Thank you so very much for having invited us to this second conference on independent living. I am very honored to be here with you, because I think that you're very courageous. This is a very interesting conference and very innovative. Just looking at your website, I haven't had this job for very long, but I was very anxious to be here with you this morning. And the Vice President told me very important things about what you do and what you say that we should do. And the fact is that I'm delighted to be here. And we know what you think. And so I would like to say that I share your philosophy. We share your philosophy, the philosophy of independent living. And the Valencian government, we speak about functional diversity because we share the same ideas. The fact is that it is difficult to tear down barriers, to break down these barriers, and one knows how difficult this is. The concept of functional diversity is irrenounceable with regards to political change, transformation, and consolidation of the Valencian social model that is being thrust by our local ministry in order to develop public policies for equality and social rights universally, in order to guarantee an inclusive society and not only social integration. As you know, we also have had problems to institutionalize this term, because in fact what is important here is what comes behind the words. It's not just a term, it is an approach focused on the human rights, a real independent living, one respects freedom and liberty, and the fact that people have the right to living, to justice and equality and freedom. And I'm always saying that I learn a great deal from all of you. Thank you very much for being out there. I also work with an entity, and I remember that often the politicians, we're relegated, we're behind. And thanks to you, thanks to specialists, thanks to your know-how, thanks to the fact that you have joined together, that you have asked for things, then we are striding ahead. This is why I like what you're going to say. I would like you to please send what you say to us, because we need to know what you are saying to help us know where to go. We see an excellent program. We also see the issues you deal with, lectures that refers to sexuality, to challenges to live in full citizenship, and to support, and I will reach my own decisions. I think that is lovely. And there's a great deal to still be done. It is true that we have worked very hard already. One of the things I wanted to point out, and which is essential for everyone, is the figure of a personal assistant, so necessary to have an independent life, as one all wants. We know that independent living, well, we know it's not the law, but this is a law, a state law, and we're in our vice presidency and our equality council, we are backing this, and we have already looked at the personal assistant area. And I spoke with Ismael, and we're going to have to sit down and talk about this again. We're going to have to sit down and talk about this. And I've just been working at my job for 2 years, and we're going to have to speak more about the personal assistant, if they need to have training or not, and how much training. So we need to make this compatible with other services that are rendered, because if not, then we will not be able to conceive independent living just with a personal assistant. But we need to continue working on this. There's a great deal that is still to be done, but we are very interested in working on this, and we are not afraid of any change which might arise. We need to overcome any barrier and look for systems that are in favor of people and caring, and we need to have a caring attitude. And in the past we didn't have many resources, and we had a long waiting list for this. We want to be able to cover the more basic needs in order to be able to start to work on independent living, and to be able to speak about subjective rights. It means the right of that subject, that individual, inalienable rights. And this is recognized in the new law of social services that were taken on board at the end of the year, to speak about human rights, respect for equality and dignity. So please, I hope that you give me all the work, information about everything that you are doing on independent living, because the moment has come, and I don't want to we don't want to have the waiting list that we do have, but I think that now we can already take a jump in the Valencian government. In other words, to speak about the basic needs, fundamental needs, which unfortunately we had to work on this, and now when we needed to work on independent living. And so even though we're concluding, it's very important to, if we don't come back to the government, we need to do as much as we possibly can. So we need to clarify this very carefully. This is why your meeting is so important. This is why I'm asking you again to please tell me about everything that you're doing, and tell me about what you talk about here. Send me all of your conclusions, and then we'll try to do something, and we will give deep thought to all of this. Thank you very much. Your conference is now inaugurated. Well, thank you very much, Helena, for your kind words, and for regards your request. We shall give you everything, and everything is being coming out on streaming, so we'll see it on our channel, our conference channel. So just in a few days, I'll send you some questions to see if you actually did see what we're doing on streaming.
No la entiendo. No me atrevo.
Yeah,
No.
if you can read it correctly, whatever you get. Okay? If you know what I mean.
Oh. Muy bien, pues vamos.
Thank you very much, Kapka, and to Helena, our Councillor. And now, since we have a little delay, we're going to now give the floor to the first panel session. We're going to try to be as punctual as possible because here at this cultural center, their timetable is very strict, so we must keep to their timetable and we must leave when it's when the certain time. So, Helena and Kapka, you may go down so that we may begin our next session. Thank you.